breeze blowing, storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the pig's life is about to begin. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend, Mike, he's your man. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that it's trying to hide. Look on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation. Yeah, you're in Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation.
I don't know, man. I don't like this. You want to walk up there or you want to go back? I don't think we can make it.
All right, good morning, everybody. What's up? How you doing? I guess I clicked my timer a little late. Oh, well. Good Monday morning to everybody. How are you? We are live from Oldsmar here in hot Oldsmar, Florida. It was hot yesterday. We were in Gainesville yesterday. I've never felt the heat. I leaned into the truck bed and burned my hand from the sunshine, like just touching my tonneau cover. It was like on fire. So we have high pressure rolling in and African dust. It's going to be a hot week leading up to July 4th, like triple digits from Texas to Florida. Incredible. What's up, Miss Shelley? Good morning. Shelley on the other side of the state, helping keep things going. We're going to talk weather. I got no dogs today. So in honor of Emily, this is Louie and Hunter for the day. This was her first puppy, and he's missing a nose. But 17 years old, this little guy. So the dogs are at the vet, and Julie's on her way to pick them up because we were gone all weekend. So this is all we got. Dogs come back tomorrow. I miss them dearly. Dearly. All right, so we're going to talk weather. We got a lot to talk about. Thank you, Miss Mary Carroll. Yeah, talking about our article. Braden Herald article came out. We appreciate that. It's our Daily Brew. We're going to talk weather. We talk tropics all season long. Brought to you by our great friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Hope you had a great weekend celebrating with them. They're leading up to the 4th of July. And I just got a video from TBBC. They're releasing a, I think it's called A Taste of Freedom. Don't quote me 100%, but it's a red, white, and blue can. Like the old popsicle. The red, white, and blue popsicle tastes just like that. It's out just in time for the holidays. And it will be at ABC. So you got to get your American red, white, and blue Taste of Freedom from the one and only TBBC this week coming up. And it'll be available at How about that? So we got storms brewing today. We're going to talk about, let's just put the radar on something here. I don't know what I should put it on. Let's just put it on that. That's old Cindy. We're going to talk about storms, and I want to say hi to everybody first. Jonathan, what's up? Hot in South Carolina. What's up, Mr. Will Parker from South Carolina? Brian, what's brewing in the tropics? Very little. Old Cindy's coming back. She degenerated. I hate that word. That's an awful word. What do you guys think about the word degenerated? I like the word fizzle better. She degenerated, but now she's coming back. What's up, Miss Karen? I don't know why they blocked your message there. That's weird. Misha eats those popsicles. It tastes just like the popsicle. I'm telling you. I taste a sample. So yeah, thanks for Braden and Harold had a great article that came out. Ryan did an awesome job, and apparently it was also running the Miami Herald, so that's cool. If you haven't checked out the Furman Every Generator Tells a Story YouTube video, that was phenomenal too. Great work by my buddy Gavin. So a couple cool things last week. Kelvin down there in the Dominican Republic, how's it going, man? We're taking a cruise. That's where the MWB cruise is going this year. Maybe Shelly, we can hook up with some DR friends down there, right? We're going to be sailing down to Labadee and DR. And what's up, Mrs. It's beer, Mary Carroll. What's up, Greg Vincent, my man? Look, I got the car behind me, man. Look, the car, the one and only car. Greg Vincent mailed me a huge life-size photo, almost. I don't know where to put it yet, but. Congratulations to my buddy Kyle Weatherman, by the way. Kyle Weatherman and I actually have phone numbers. He's a NASCAR driver, and he drove the JD Motorsports car this week and did a really good job for JD. How about Bailey Zimmerman, man? He had a race car. They won Saturday's Xfinity race, man. My boy Bailey Zimmerman, that was awesome. Of course, we got a big football game or a baseball game tonight. Gators versus LSU. We were in Gainesville when they lost by 1 and over extra innings there. It was very, very weird being in Gainesville during a Gainesville game, man. The mood of that place when they lost was like, it was like, bleh. Marcy from Palm Bay, good morning. Ross Chastain, he was the man, Mr. Ben. I thought old Truex was going to catch him, but he didn't. That would have been a good battle. What's up, Miss Carrie Adams? Go Gators. So we are streaming live, by the way. I'm talking to 2 different chats here. YouTube and Facebook. What's up, Laura Hedden family are you in Florida? What's up, Miss Mary? How you been? What else we talk about? Homestead, yeah. You're kind of Joe Fernandez down in Homestead. You're kind of in the area of Florida where you're far enough away from the high pressure that you're going to get afternoon storms. Nope. Good question, Mr. Baller over there, or Miss Baller. I can't tell. It looks like maybe Miss Baller. I don't know. Baller. On YouTube. Cindy will keep the name. I'm 99% sure. Don't quote me on it, but I'm 99% sure Cindy keeps the name because they're still tracking it as X Cindy. And by the way, this is satellite imagery this morning. And here's kind of the number one reason what happened here. Let's put on the old pointer. Right here, there's a terrible looking arrow, but anyway, right there. Look, if you focus right there, the low level circulation's heading off to the northwest. All the convection shear basically blew the clothes off her. That's why they call it naked swirl. All the clothes have been blown off, and it's a naked swirl. You got to have convection around the center to to retain tropical characteristics. But the shear is going to relax, and somewhere around Bermuda, midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, this is going to actually start getting convection again, and it could spin back up into a sub 1,000 millibar system, and it's heading smack dab north towards Nova Scotia, it looks like. So we're going to talk about that. And we do have storms here locally, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Hey, Raymond from Germany, how about that? Not really into big Germany beers. Panama Canal needs rain. That's interesting, Tom. I didn't know that. That's a neat little fact. Watermelon guy. All right, let's talk about the weather real quick, and then I'll come back and read comments. So here's weather today. It's very important to talk about today's weather. Storms are already beginning to brew here. This is, quite a big area to watch. We had 70, 80 mile an hour winds in northern Louisiana this morning. They're pushing their way through the southeast right now towards the Gulf. And then we got another set of lines here. Our jet stream's kind of dipped a little bit, so we got storm chances, pretty strong storm chances today. I mean, all the way Florida Panhandle, dark green, but today, a lot of yellow, and then we got orange. Orange is kind of rare. If you want to know what these colors mean, if you go back to Mike's weather page, I have a cheat sheet here. This is from the Storm Prediction Center. That's exactly what they mean right there. So you can always find that on the site. Numerous severe storms possible, persistent, widespread, few intense. Hail, mainly the big threat. If you look at what they're showing, there's our little circle we're going to talk about. Here's the hail threat today, and that's pretty significant. South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. This hatched area means we could have 2 inches plus. So that means big supercells are developing today, and that cold air above coming down from that cool jet stream is going to allow hail to bounce around and get bigger. So hail threat, pretty significant today. So pay attention to your radar. Wind, of course, tornado threats, 2%. Then tomorrow, we still got some storm chances that remain tomorrow. Here's tomorrow, dark green across the East Coast. All right, so there you go. We can get into more of that later, but let's talk about the tropics. So here is old Cindy. That's this right here. There's Cindy. The NHC remarked her today. And they're giving it a 30% chance of development. I believe it's 30%. Let's see what they say right here. I don't even remember what it was. I think it's 30%. 30%. 30% chance. So there you go. What do you think about that? That's it. So we got a lot of people that watch up in the Bermuda area. What's up, Karen from St. Croix? You got so St. Croix. We're going to talk about tropics, but it looks like towards this time next week we could see a potential wave coming your way that might try to develop. And you got a big old bunch of juice out there right now coming your way that's nearing your doorstep in the Caribbean. A lot of wind shear though, and we got some African Saharan dust helping keep things from organizing. But that's that. So we're going to talk about this. We're talking about the wave. Let's just kind of show you what's going on here. I like to jump around, as you know. Here's the current look. So this area does not appear to be developing. However, it's going to bring some much needed rain to the area, right? But we got a lot of waves back here that looking kind of interesting. So this is old Cindy here going this way. The old remnants of Brett, man, I don't know, man. I think that high pressure is going to keep it chugging along. We got a high pressure in the Gulf, and it's pretty much guaranteeing that old Brett is going to Central America. There were some ensembles popping it off into the Gulf. We'll see, but I don't think that's going to happen now. But yeah, there you go. We got a couple things to watch down the road for sure. This clump right here. All right, so let's look at the individual models here from Tropical Tidbits, and there's a lot we can show on these models. So let's go ahead and just bring up the first one. Let's just leave it right here and kind of show you everything in a nutshell. All right, so what you're looking for is darker, deeper blues or organized low-pressure areas. Vague, what the hell just happened there? I just had a glitch. Vague areas are just weak low-pressure systems, but they generally can mean rain. All right, so let's pull up the 00Z, this overnight run. If you want to focus on Bermuda, here's Bermuda right there. Nova Scotia right there. And old Cindy is going to possibly be over Bermuda Wednesday, Thursday. You can tell nothing really happened with that juice that just went through the Caribbean that's out there in radar now. But then it kind of develops 1,002, 1,003 into Nova Scotia by Friday. You can see that redevelopment here. So that's model number 1. Let's go to the third here. This is the first. So now we're into the weekend. Watch this little blue spot right here. That could be something to watch towards July 4th. This is showing up on a lot of models overnight. I teased it in the Brew Crew yesterday. By the way, our Brew Crew is a private little chat area that subscribers to the page support us. And all our new Cat 5s, Julie is off today, so she's running errands, but all the Cat 5s swag is in the mail today. Ooh. So if you're patiently waiting on your Cat 5 shirts, they're in the mail. All right, so nothing really showing up long range other than X Cindy. We're going to be watching something July 3rd, pop it in, and that's about it. You know, remnants of Brett, you can follow it along here. This is kind of like just kind of heading back towards maybe Pacific. But all right, so other models that kind of verify what we're talking about. The Icon model. All right, so here's old Cindy. Gets going around Bermuda, about right here. So Bermuda, smack dab over top of you, Miss Lori. Lori, you could be our Bermuda representative. Stacy from St. Thomas. How's this, Shelly? We should get some super fan from every one of our little areas. Maybe put them all in a hat. We know Lori from Bermuda. She just signed up for Cat 5 too. So there you are. Look at that. I can't believe it. But this anyway, 1009. So, you know, nothing scary but rain. And then the Icon kind of develops it. 1001, 2, 3. So there you go. End of Nova Scotia. Friday, Saturday. And then we're watching this. July 3rd. Right here. You can kind of follow it right here. That little bubble starts to show up. This is July 2nd, July 3rd. So that's our next little area that's looking a little more realistic to talk about maybe as our next low pressure. And currently it's not, I don't even think it's over off Africa yet. Maybe it could be one of these little guys that popping off right now. Maybe. It might be this guy right here, somewhere down there. But anyway. All right, so there's that. Let's take a look at I don't even know why we look at the GFS. Let's look at the Canadian. And you'll see the same thing here. Canadian starting to develop old. Oh, there it is right here. And it didn't even do it that time. It kind of did it. But the Canadian's been all over this new wave coming in July 2nd right here. So there you go. See that? So that's looking pretty good chances that a wave's going to be making its way through the weekend, getting close to the islands, and then we'll see what it does. So we're going to look at some ensembles here in a minute, see exactly what that means. And then let me show the GFS just for fun. Here's GFS Reese. All right, so there's old Cindy over Bermuda right there, a little bit to the east, which probably means it's wrong. But then it kind of really develops it into Nova Scotia this weekend. So, and it's actually showing this little wave down here too. So that's enough to talk about. We're not going to talk about that thing because that's GFS fantasy. But there's that. All right, so there's that. Let's take a look. Let me show you a cool little plot chart here on. We use another one too, but let's show you this one. This is on the Euro. Now we're going to look at all the ensembles here from. The Euro. And if we get to July 2nd, you can start to see a fair amount of little cluster here coming into the play, you know, Monday, Tuesday of next week. And that's kind of what we're going to say is the next spot maybe to watch, you know, because there's just there's a few showing it. We can look at GFS just for fun. You would think the GFS ensembles would be smarter than the main operational run, but they're not. Oh, let's see. It's not doing much. I just don't like the GFS anymore. Oh, that's actually, yeah, that's GFS. Let's look at Canadian, though. Oh, see, the Canadian's a lot better. Here's July 3rd. There's that cluster. So everybody always wants me to talk about where the next spot we could possibly watch. I tell you what's interesting, though. Let me tell you this, though. I mean, this is interesting. Let's click it back here, a little zoomed in. Canadian isn't too bad. But look what it is showing. This is July 4th. You know, we could see a wave starting to develop. But it is starting to show a few popping up into the Gulf out ahead of it. And the only reason I bring that up is because the GFS did show this around the same time frame. A little something popping up. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Let's see what the Euro shows for that other possibility. And it's not, but it is showing this. So yeah, that's it. You know, I thank the Tropics for letting me take a weekend off when we have softball. Now we have something to watch this week. What's up, Mr. Eric? How is going on? I saw Wander Franco had to be punished, and he came back with a home run. So. All right, so that's interesting, right? So a couple things in the favor of this happening for next week. You know, obviously water temperatures. They are cooling down a little bit. That's what everything we've been talking about. They can't stay 10 degrees above normal forever, or 5 degrees. The 7-day water map, I would just expect peak season water temps to be back to like normal, not the wild temperatures we've seen. But anyway, the 7-day... let's go to travel tidbits here. I like the 7-day change. This is your 7-day change in water temperatures. And look, doesn't mean it's cold in the Atlantic. It just means that the Atlantic is cooling down back to normal, you know. Let's say normal is 100. Last week was 100. It makes no sense, not 100. Let's say the normal was 80. Last week it was 85. Well, this week it might have cooled down 2 degrees and now it's 83. Still above normal, but the 7-day change, it makes sense. Can't maintain that ridiculous anomaly forever. You know, as far as overall anomaly goes, of course, it's still hot. Red means above normal, but look at these little pockets. So I figured that would happen. Water temperatures they fluctuate really quick. All right. So let's talk about, the other thing, I was going to talk about the MJO. So one thing, of course, we talk about the MJO anomalies and upper level shear. We're kind of entering a favorable phase here coming up in first part of July into, so July 5th range into June. So this is the area right here that next wave is going to be entering. And that's the Caribbean right here. It's hard to see on the map, but it's right there. So we'll be into a favorable enhanced phase of the MJO, meaning favorable, meaning for development. And let me tell you about the word favorable. I post favorable, and I'll get people saying, what do you mean favorable? Favorable for no hurricane or favorable for hurricane? And I get caught up in that one word. People assume I'm cheerleading. So I have to put conditions will be more favorable for development. So you all mold me. Lillian, anyway, Mark Hall, what's up? Clear with a chance of Eggo waffles. So anyway, that's going to be favorable for development. And here's another simple map. Just kind of shows you things are kind of neutral, but not bad. The Michael Venture's page here, I use it a lot. And you can just see going into July 3rd, things are going to be, not yellow, meaning sinking air. So not bad for development. So we'll see. Right now we got a big old dust plume. Let's show you what's going on with that. I have a lot of posts from people living in the Caribbean that tell me all the time that it's dusty out and talk more about the dust. So this is a cool map from NASA. This shows you yesterday. Oh no, this is recent, overnight. This is a current dust particle map, and it all originates in Africa. And the trade winds blow it across the waters of the Atlantic, and a lot of times it reaches into the Caribbean, and a lot of times it reaches Bahamas in the southeast, Florida, Texas even. It's so thick sometimes they issue alerts, like respiratory alerts, because it gets blown in. The strong winds. Like Kansas said, it's dust in the wind. Here's your lower level let's kind of go here about 850. I was going to kind of show you 700 maybe, I don't know. But you just get the idea. These strong winds originate out of Africa here, and they get carried across the Atlantic. Sometimes when the winds slow down, it won't make it very far, but this next plume appears it will. And this is what it's going to look like. So let's just put it in motion. You can see that we could see some dust early as today, actually. But it gets really thick on Wednesday. Right there. Ready? Here we go. It's trying to load. Boom. Wednesday. And then we're going to see some of this reach Puerto Rico and Hispaniola and Jamaica later, July 1st here. But look, some of that might reach it into the Gulf. Right here. Look at South Florida. This is July 3rd. Up into the upper Gulf, July 4th. Now, all that really does is, believe it or not, it makes for brighter sunsets and sunrises because the light reflects from the particles of the dust and actually makes more vibrant sunsets sometimes. But a lot of times what it does is, as you know, heat in this crazy high pressure that we're in, you're going to get milky skies because that dust is actually good. So you're going to feel like you're in Mars, on Mars, not in Mars. So I suspect this weekend, if this thing makes it all the way across and into July 4th, it'll be hot and hazy for the areas that aren't getting any rain. And that's because the dust is actually going to be in the upper level atmosphere, and the sun has a hard time pushing through it. So you won't get crisp blue skies. You get hazy, milky skies when you have a high dust outbreak. Now we go to July 4th, July 3rd, it's already starting to show this possibility of this is July 3rd. This is timing of where that wave could be our next one to watch. But that's all highly speculative, but it's interesting to note because we have this to talk about. This is incredible. Hazardous heat. And when I said Texas to Florida, I mean it because a lot of our Gulf Coast region, but it actually goes all the way to the eastern parts of California. But hazardous heat from coast to coast, basically. We got hundreds showing up possibly down into the Florida peninsula into the weekend. But this is pretty much all this week, 626 to 630. Unbelievable heat across the south. You go to the surface charts right now and you can see it. There it is, high pressure hanging out for a couple days. Here it is now. And when you get this blocking high pressure pattern, that's why we had storms coming through Louisiana this morning and continue because the winds go around the high pressure, obviously like that. We got a frontal line here bringing up the storms here. But a high pressure also prevents a lot of rain across southeast. So it's going to be a dry several days here across the south. It's basically high pressure dominates. So it is going to help bring in some storms today. We got to watch out for. Tomorrow, it does not appear. Nope, here's tomorrow. Not a lot of action across the south because that high pressure is going to be developing even more. And here's a current look. I mean, this is kind of what we looked at today. We had a strong storm band come through Louisiana this morning, and it'll probably still be firing up some storms today, but they fizzle out as soon as they get into that Gulf. Look at this, like disappeared, right? High pressure heat, convection chopped off, and boom, nothing happened. So we had some rain this morning across the upper Gulf, but it fizzled out as it exited into that warm Gulf of Mexico air. So there you go. So let's leave this up here. Actually, you know what? I do have another link here. Let's see if we can look at some visible satellite now. We might be able to see. Oh, it's just coming into daylight now. Darn it! I was hoping we could see still imagery. Well, this might work here. Let's take a look at this one. Let's see. Nah, not yet. Not enough daylight yet. But we can go to the latest one, pull it up at least. All right, so here's Cindy. We'll leave this up. Look, Cindy's low is right there. You can see it. You can see the low-level clouds spinning around it. This no convection. All the convection here is getting blown off. And you can look at some shear maps and see this right here. Heavy, strong shear on Cindy's south and east side, and you can see directional shear here, showing you these strong winds in the peach here. Basically coming in like that. So all these upper level winds are pushing the convection away from Cindy this morning right there. So, but she's coming back, y'all. All right, so what else we talk about? Heat index is through the roof. I don't even know. I don't even know how our power bill is going to be this month, because our Tico bills jumped up at least 25%. I can only imagine. I keep the house at 73. Mark Hall said the peach harvest, that's not good news. The peach harvest is affected by the bad weather. It's not good. I know. Didn't we have an earlier crop? It's because of the unseasonably cool, cold weather. Didn't we have, I think they had a lot of issues in the southeast there from that. All right, so let's take a look at the heat, since we're talking about the heat, get an idea of what's going on. So here's your rain forecast today. Let's look at rain forecast real quick today, just for fun, kind of where we're at. You can see that pretty dry chance, almost zero chances for most of Florida, and a little bit, almost none here for lower Louisiana. This is all these storms coming through, Louisiana, but almost no rain out in Texas. This is your rain chances today. We have an upper level low for the northeast, bringing in a lot of moisture. Carolina's northward today. But heat-wise, let's take a look here. What the heck is going on? I had a weirdest dream last night that we had a roof leak, by the way. It was the weirdest thing. It was like coming out like a hose. It was like one little dot of water coming down. I don't even know how I even dreamed that, or what made me even think about that. I do not know. All right, let's look at some temperatures coming up. Well, we can just look at normal predictions here from an NWS, at least for now, and then we can zoom in a little bit more to, I wish we had a better region. We really don't have a good region. I can't really do this. If I do southeast, I miss Texas. I hate doing that. I like showing everybody. So let's do Texas, South Central first, and then we'll get into southeast. So here's your daily highs. So these are actual temperatures from National Weather Service. These aren't heat index values, but we got upper 90s. Anything white is almost 100. So that's today. Tomorrow, hundreds across all Louisiana. Texas in the triple digits. Most of the whole state. Most of the state on Wednesday. there's really no break. Now Thursday's out of control, man. We got Thursday here. We got 103, 102, 102 Mississippi. The whole state of Mississippi 102. We got Arkansas 104. This is unheard of. I mean, here's Friday. I mean, it's starting to cool down a little bit by the weekend, but that is just an unbelievable stretch of heat coming. And Texas is like 110 plus. But, man, Thursday is the day. Man, Thursday we got 104, 5, and yeah, that's crazy. All right, then let's look at the southeast here. I got to close out of this thing. It always... Little glitch here. I gotta reopen it up again. Where the hell is my thing? NWS. I always lose it. It's like right in front of me. I don't know where it went. Right there. Getting old. All right, southeast. So high temperatures for southeast today. Upper 90s all the way to Carolinas to Florida. Then we got the whites inching in tomorrow. High 90s now, pumping in. Wednesday, Thursday, this is where it gets interesting. We got hundreds across parts of the southeast. And then for Friday, even hotter. Then a slight cool down coming for the weekend. I mean, look at Tennessee on Thursday, man. Thursday and Friday. 101 all the way through Tennessee. That's nuts. Let's take a look at the whole U.S. for Thursday. So we could have hundreds all the way up to Chicago. Well, they're not going to quite make it that far north, but hundreds, man. Look at these hundreds. All the way into Ohio. And, whew, hot, hot, hot. Anyway. What's up, Miss Emily from Trinidad? Another one of our great countries. That's hot. Hot, hot, hot. All right. So the bigger picture, let's just put it on here real quick. Bye-bye, ABC. We'll see you tomorrow. I might go grab a can of that Taste of Freedom. Here is the current look. All right. This is the current look. There's your intertropics convergence zone. This little blob of storms is not marked by the NHC. Does not appear to have any tropical characteristics, so it's being more fed by those strong trade winds blowing you into the area. But Barbados and our friends in Trinidad, Tobago, the ABC Islands, it looks like you all are going to get some rain on your doorstep. This is incoming. This is live satellite, so it'll be there soon. The big question mark is going to be what's there off of Africa. This is looking like this little guy. It's going to be here around the 2nd and 3rd of next week. So that'll be the one to watch, somewhere around here. And we can look at some other maps. You know, first thing I do, obviously, you look at a lot of things, but in a nutshell, you can't go wrong looking at 850 millibar spin map here. And you can see this. All right, so here's, you can see where Cindy's at. It's an open wave right now. It doesn't have closed circulation because of the, conditions, but it is expected to become a little more organized as it reaches Bermuda in a couple days. And then that blob of moisture that we're looking at down here is extremely disorganized. It's just nothing. So this whole blob of moisture right here showing no signs of development as it nears the Caribbean. So when you see a clump of clouds, but you can see winds are a little less, obviously, coming off of here. So we'll keep an eye on this general area the next couple days. Anyway, all right, what else we talk about? It's hot, heat index. Tyler, let's take a look at that heat index for we'll look at Thursday's heat index, and then we'll look at Texas, Louisiana now, and then we'll look at Southeast. So there's your heat index for like Wednesday. It could be 115, 120 plus here across Mississippi River region. So yeah, 110 plus 120s possibly on Wednesday, 15. Southeast heat index for, oh, why does it do that? I gotta do it every time. Southeast heat index, boom, 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 boom. All right. So here's your Wednesday heat index showing that wild. Anything red is like 115, 120. Here's 100. We're gonna have 110 degree heat index in Pensacola, 100 heat index down on Mobile. This is Wednesday. 105, 109 in New Orleans, 100 plus all the way through the peninsula. This is your heat index for Wednesday. And then Thursday, about the same, 110, 112 all. I mean, that's just nuts, man. Yeah, it's hot, man. It's going to be terrible. Terrible heat. So we do have a high pressure locked in over top of the southeast here. You can see it's a 72-hour surface chart map showing it right here. This is going to help create a heat bubble that's not going to have a lot of rain, a lot of storms in the next week. There could be thunderstorms, could be pop-ups, random. Here's what happens with these random pop-ups, right? You get a crack of lightning, and you're like, oh my God, it's going to rain. Might rain for a couple seconds, and then the thunderstorm gets squashed, and it doesn't last long. So you can always get little random pop-ups, but nothing persistent. Daily rainfall totals, kind of showing you what's going on here. Here's your daily rain for today. South Florida, obviously. Upper level low up here spinning somewhere up there and kind of driving this moisture for the northeast. Where is that upper level low? I just assumed there was one. I want to make sure there is one. Yeah, there is one. There's an upper level low over Michigan right now. So that's driving in the moisture and stuff for the northeast. Rainfall tomorrow. Look at tomorrow. Like nothing. Random Everglades juice. Wednesday, a little bit there, upper Gulf maybe. Anything green is half an inch or less. So there's nothing cumulative. This is Wednesday. Thursday, almost nothing. This is going to be hottest day of the year, Thursday. No rain. Friday, no rain. Saturday and Sunday, the moisture comes back a little bit. So, could be a little bit back to normal. Over the weekend, we get a little more moisture in the air. So, that's the story of the week. What's everybody doing for the 4th of July? I think we're going to be in Daytona this weekend for softball, and then we'll see. Had one of our top fans shared a picture. There was a lot of power outages yesterday in Georgia, man. We had 350,000 plus. Remember, if you go to my page here, you can see a power outage map from our friends at Furman right there. Furman power outage map. But we had a couple people actually submit pictures of their Georgia's down to 60,000 now. It was 315,000 at one time. They had some unexpected storms come in with big winds. Tennessee still got 115,000 without power right now. Generally right here. Let's see, Georgia, probably middle state Georgia still. Yeah, there's the power outages through the middle part of the state. They've been getting rocked, man. That's where I went last week, storm chasing. They had some tornadoes. All right. Cool beans. Well, that's about it for me. I don't know. Keep it short and sweet. Severe thunderstorm watch is up. It's moving from the northwest. This storm cluster is moving down like that. Expected to start losing some fizzle as it moves on down. It's going to expire now, or not now, in an hour. So those storms are slowly weakening across the upper Gulf there. You can see it. Once it reaches that high pressure dome, it's going to start losing some punch. All right, well, hey, I just checked my stats on Tempest, man. We appreciate your support. They've offered everybody a 10% discount and free shipping right now. So if you're interested in like the best home weather station on the planet, check it out. Of course, I have a link here to become a subscriber. We have a Cat 1 level, Cat 5 level with all kinds of perks. We really appreciate all the Brew Crew support over the years. That's helped maintain what we can do. Keeps the old Storm Chaser truck out in the field. We also have some new gear this year. I finally saw somebody with the shirt on the other day. They had the new design. I think it was that color. No, actually it was this color. I think it was green. But there's our new summer logo. I still got peach. That's my favorite color. I was wearing peach at Panama. Peach at Panama. All right. Well, there you go. So we'll be back live tomorrow. We'll see what the weather does. Tropics are quiet for the moment. We're looking at Cindy trying to reform. And this just got posted. Oh, look at that. Hail and gusty winds across Pennsylvania right now. This is new. This is just got posted until 11 a.m., so it's not going to last long. There's little pop-up storms. So if you know anybody in southern New York and parts of Jersey and PA, that just got popped up. Little pop-up storms could have some hail attached to them. This is my Twitter list, by the way. I love my Twitter list. If you ever get bored, halfway down on the page here, you just scroll here, and this is all my weather people. And you can see. So this is fresh. This one just got posted about an hour ago. They're going to be watching those storms in Louisiana, whether or not they have to issue a new watch as this gets closer to the Gulf Coast. So that's pretty cool. That's fresh data, and I saw it on the Twitter list here. So you can always get more weather info, and it's all weather people and weather posts. So there's a plethora, if that's a word. Look at that. Everything you could ever want in a nutshell. If you don't want to read anything but weather, this is it. And I also have that feed on my app too, I believe. Let me see here. Dale, I got your message if you're watching. Let's see if it works. I haven't checked in a while. So if you go down here, I have a button that says Live Weather Feed right on the very bottom of the app. See Live Weather Feed? If you click on that, this is my Twitter list. And it'll pop up right here, and you can read all these weather tweets, all weather tweets, fresh timeline, everything you need to know in the weather world from all the people that I follow, all the big weather dogs in the world. You can find out, which is so, it's good bathroom material. Oh man, my back of my leg hurts. All right. So I'm Storm Chaser list right now. Tranny it was so hot yesterday in Gainesville that I got a transmission fluid warning. I had to park. It was like 98. It was hot. So I'm doing a transmission flush right now. I haven't changed it. It's 58,000 miles. I probably should have had it done at 50,000, but hoping that the transmission fluid just broke down because it was so hot. And I was getting a little slip from first to second. I could feel it. But it makes sense. I'm sure the fluid broke down a little bit because I put it through hell and back. For sure. Oh, by the way, look at this, Shelly. Current inventory. I'm going to list the hats if you're Brew Crew. I got an order of the light blue ones went nuts with the design. I sold out instantly. So we got dark blue, the fish design, and then the light blue ones I got back in stock. So I'm going to put these on there for the Brew Crew. Because we sold out so quick last time. The light blue ones went really good. So I had to stop the sale until we had new ones, and they just came in. So we'll put that out there today. All right. Hey, what's up, Chad Robbins? How's it going, buddy? Where you at? Nope. Chad, Brett is nothing right now. It's nothing. Nope. Just a clump of clouds, a little bit of rain. You might have more juice incoming from this other wave. There's a bigger wave right behind it entering the islands now, but it's really even hard to make out where Brett is. It just got. So this wave's interesting though. This one's looking a little more juicier. This one might bring some rain to the area. This area here is the new one we might be watching for tropical development. Oh, we didn't show any of those maps, by the way. Let me go show you some of the things I look at. So we looked at the individual model runs, right? So let's look at some ensembles. So ensembles have been pretty active about this idea of something forming out here. And not all the European members, but we go to July 2nd and 3rd. There's still a handful. This is the wave. Enough to keep watching, right? I mean, this is next week. There's not as many, there was a little more yesterday, but it's steadily been increasing basically on a wave approaching the islands this time next week. The tropical probability percentage map on tropical storms, you can see it about here. This is the 5th. Very low chances. That's how it starts, 5%. But you always get tropical depression signatures, but to start getting a storm signature, it verifies it's worth talking about. And this would be more midweek next week. So we're going to keep an eye on the afternoon models and see. Like I said, the dust should be a little lighter next week. The MJO is going to be a little more favorable for development. So we went to a place called Swamp Head Brewery this weekend in Gainesville. I shared a picture. That was a really fun time, man. They had a one-man band there. I love one-man bands. He was awesome. We had some fun with him, and it was a good time. Went to a burger place called Hop Dodie. Is that what it's called? All you locals know what I'm talking about. It's called Hop Dodie, I think. It's a build-your-own burger place. Phenomenal. They had roasted Brussels sprouts, man. Oh, it was so good. So that was fun. I always like to try off-the-wall places. So that was a good time. Good time. We had a big softball tournament up in Newberry. Met some fans. It's pretty cool. Mike, I know, man. I'm itching to get a Tesla. I love Elon, and I love electric because we have a 50 amp plug at the house. And Julie likes to idle the charger for hours, especially when we go to softball tournaments. Like, you can't idle that car for 4 hours straight. It's not meant to do that. That was the problem with my truck, I think. We idled it so long in the heat at Gainesville. It just got hot sitting there, man. You got to get airflow, and I guarantee that's what happened because we idled it so much because it was so hot. We had to keep the air on there for Sarah. I mean, it's hot, man. But the tranny got overworked. Let's take a look at the old UK. It doesn't go out that far, but we can still see what's going on. Let's see what the UK says for old Cindy. If we get any sort of UK development. It's almost a guarantee it's going to try to tighten up. Now, whether or not it's subtropical, tropical, waters are still kind of cool. Be curious to see. No, it's not even showing it on the UK. But the waters are not ideal for tropical development, but they're also not the worst. We go to sea surface temp and look here at data. Usually you want around 80 degrees. So, see, it's 70s. That'd be interesting. Boy, that water's cold up there. 50s still up there. Look at that. So the waters aren't warm. I mean, it's going to be definitely light shear ahead of it. So if it, it might. History says it would become a subtropical system, especially with water temps in the 50s. That's cold. Cold as ice. All right, let's look what the Euro says it might look like here. We get to that point. How else here? So tropical Atlantic. I guess we'll do that. What it could look like. That'd be really sloppy looking. Yeah. But, hey, whatever. 30%. We'll keep an eye on it. Storms will nonetheless. Nothing scary for Nova Scotia. So, all right. Well, listen. We got 2 more minutes. We'll try to make it to an hour. Hey, Bobby, Blobby. How's it going? Bobby's always on Twitter talking away. We like Twitter. Eric talking about my Mopar engine. Yeah, I know. I don't want to idle the Hellcat. Brandon, good day. Thanks for telling me, man. That's exactly what happened. I tell you, man, it was so hot yesterday. I mean, it was so weird as heat. Something about high pressure heat. Living in Florida my whole life. When you have a high pressure parked over you, that heat is so intense. It just feels different. It's hard to explain. It's a drier heat for us. But, man, it was hot. Christy from South Carolina. Felice, got your message here. Thank you. Shelly, I've seen those portable AC things on TikTok with the cooler. So, what's up, Mr. Michael S? Pool temp 75. 88 is my magic number. I could not. Sue Thomas over there on YouTube says her pool temp 75. I would not be even putting my toes in that water. 88, man. If it's 87, I shiver. Hey, Mr. Jason. Hey, Jason, I saw your camping trip, buddy. Looked awesome, man. Mr. Jason, one of our proud partners there at Furman. He's on the road traveling. Saw that. You see JD Motorsports tagged you guys on the run from Kyle Weatherman. Kyle Weatherman drove for JD this weekend, Jason. And they tagged you guys in a post, so that was nice of them. Hashtagged you. You've been hashtagged. Yeah, I've been working on the road. Shelly will tell you the last 3 named storms I've been out of town. I did a radio show. Oh, that's Wednesday. Never mind. I just remembered I had to call somebody. So I did a radio show on the way out of town, and for some reason I forgot the A name, and I was going to do it again. I called it Agatha. Then I was just going to call it Amanda. I don't know what it is. I'm terrible with names in real life. I'm terrible with hurricane names. So during a commercial break, I was on this radio show, and I had to look it up while I was on the phone, and it bothered me. And I'm like, it wasn't Agatha, it was Arlene. But all 3 storms now, I've had to update the website on the road. So I have an office on wheels now, too. My little storm chaser truck. Florida major storms. Mike Reynolds, great question. So my thinking has been from day one with this El Nino is looking back at history. It just seems like historical El Nino years still had a major hurricane to contend with. Seems like you're going to get that no matter what. It just seems like El Nino years, we have more Western Atlantic activity because we have less going through the Caribbean. So we're going to be watching for more storms that figure a way around the Caribbean, and they come in on that Western Atlantic side, which could mean the East Coast, East Florida, East Seaboard, Florence, and, Gene and Francis in 04, Andrew and Dorian started out as El Nino years, and they came around that side. So something about the weather pattern, I don't know if it's the Bermuda high pressure system is pushed away a little bit more, allowing our systems to lift up a little bit more. So you have to keep an eye on that. Cindy kind of went that way. So we'll have to see how that high pressure plays in. And of course the Gulf, man. The Gulf is, in recent years, the Gulf has always had a storm. And 18 was an El Nino year, and we had Michael. Granted, it wasn't the strong El Nino year that they're predicting, but we've had strong hurricanes in El Nino years. So, if I had to say a hot spot, number one would be the southeast coast, off the Western Atlantic, and this including our friends down in the Caribbean. I'm seeing the effects of wind shear for El Nino years so strong that very little activity across Central America, the Yucatan, the Caymans, Jamaica, Hispaniola. So it seems like with that wind shear, those years are very quiet in that area. So if you were to pick hot spots based on Climo, you watch those water temps. Water temps are warmer than normal. You're going to get a storm. And 3-day rapid intensification is real. So, this wind shear fluctuates, the Pacific jet stream, and it could bend a little bit, allowing a storm to pop. And that's exactly what happens in all hurricane seasons. So that wind shear isn't there the whole season. It wiggles and wobbles, and little window of opportunity will be there, and something can pop up quick. So as long as that water temp's hot, I'm telling you, Gulf and Western Atlantic. I know it sounds cliches, but we have a lot of people that watch down in the Caribbean, and it definitely seems like this area right here remains quiet because of wind shear. And my favorite year in most recent history was 18. Showing you this. This kind of tells you in a nutshell, this zone right here. This is wind shear. We had a hurricane out here. We had a hurricane out here. Both of them weakened as it approached this wind shear. We had Florence go around the wind shear, and we had Michael, brew at the last second here. So, this region definitely looks to stay quiet this year. And we have to worry about stuff here. Whether it turns, whether it rides the East Coast, we just never know. Anyway, all right, buddy, Bobby. All right, so we'll go tomorrow. You're welcome, Mike. And looks like maybe not went Friday, Shelly. Might be another 3-day weekend. But I'm going to put these hats online for the Brew Crew. And we'll be back live tomorrow. Probably going to do a YouTube video later today. I haven't done one in a couple of days, so we'll send that an alert out via text, and I'll put one of those together later if there's something to talk about. I don't want to talk about nothing, but you see Olivia Dunn she's a big TikTok star. She was hanging out with Chase Elliott. NASCAR? Bailey Zimmerman's at NASCAR? What's up with that? All right, cheers everybody. Bye-bye. Man, I didn't look at the camera. I looked extra unsuntan today.